Welcome to this video about market structure. This is going to be part of the free educational series of Wave Trading, which is a series focused on giving you a solid foundational knowledge to get started trading profitably. Okay, let's get into it. Market structure is a key core concept that is, in its essence, almost equivalent to trends. We use it to gauge a feeling for the state of the market and also form our bias for taking any trades. The gathering levels part is not going to be part of this video because it's not the key concept that's being used for that specifically. It's not a kind of strategy that we use for that. Anyways, just putting this in the room that there are things that you can actually derive from market structure itself other than just gauging a feeling and catching the trend. So, market structure. What is it? Basically, market structure is a series of highs and lows being put in that we derive the trend from. So what is market structure? I have drawn you up something really nicely here. So let's get into it. We have a high and we have a low. After that comes a lower high. This lower high is in reference to the high before. And this is true for all the following. So all of the highs are in reference to the previous high and all the lows are in reference to the previous lows. Okay. So we have a lower high than the previous one. We have a new low that is lower than this one. We have a lower high lower than this one. We have a lower low lower than this one. And we have a lower low that's lower than the previous one. And we have another lower low that's lower than this previous one. Okay, here is where it changes, and you can see just from the yellow line itself. But here is the first time we have a higher high. This is also in reference to the previous high. And we have a higher low that is higher than the previous low. And again, a higher high. So basically what you will see in the market is something like this. You will not put these lines and label the highs and the lows in reality. That's simply not realistic. That's also not what we want at the end of the day. Because the goal with this is really something to get your brain into pattern recognition. This is something that will just stick out to you really, really clearly once you get the hang of it and just get used to it as well. So for the sake of this video, we will keep these here for now to help you get to that point where you don't need this anymore. All right, so this is the very key concept of market structure. I'm going to leave this here. You can take a screenshot if you want and try to understand it. If you're ready, let's move on. All right, here we are. This is Bitcoin right now as it's trading. I've drawn in the market structure for you guys right now. So this should be really, really striking out to you. This is something that's always going to be in your subconscious or your active mind, whatever, depending on if you're focusing on it. But this is the trend right now. So we have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high than the previous one, we have a lower low than the previous one. After that, we have a lower high than the previous one again, and we have a lower low than the previous one. Again, lower high and a lower low than the previous one, a lower high than the previous one, again a lower low than the previous one, but we're actually going to check if that's actually a lower low than the previous one. And then again, we have a higher high. So now we have seen it in real life for the first time. Let's talk about it on the other scheme really quickly to see what's actually going on right now. So you've seen this is something really similar to what just happened right now, except it's a bit more strong here, but that's really just to make the point. Okay, so we have a change from a lower high, lower low sequence to a higher high and higher low sequence. All right. What this means is that we went from a downtrend to an uptrend. This is the key characteristic of any up or downtrend. It's lower highs or higher highs. Also with lows, lower lows and higher lows. Goes hand in hand with it. So, what exactly is a lower low? If we remember really quickly, think about the chart that I just showed you. There is one thing that I said, and it's that we are not sure if the most recent lower low is actually a lower low. So let's talk about that. Now, so this is the point that's questionable if this is a lower low. Is this a lower low? In my opinion, of course, it put in a lower low, but it's not something that I would regard as necessarily really determining the structure. Reason for this being that for any real continuation of the trend or any confirmations of any trend, this also goes for market breaks, I want to see closes below the low or closes above the high. So if we are to see any continuation downwards, I would have wanted to see a close below the previous low. Or now in this case, we've had this recent high here. For it to be recognized as a real market structure break, so a lower high sequence going to a higher high sequence, what I would require from it to do to actually have me recognize it as a market structure break, which it just did, was a candle close above the high. So if we look at it like this is the horizontal line here. It closed above that line at this point. So at this point, I would consider it broken. So what I'm looking for now, again, is to put in a higher low, because we changed from a lower structure to a higher structure. Now, after this quick excursion to actually determining if a structure is put in or not, I just want to say that this concept is really, really key in forming your bias, because the same as a trend is the concept that price remains in trend until proven otherwise. Essentially, that price will always move or keep moving in this lower high, lower low structure until it doesn't, which might seem obvious at first, which it really also is, but you can make that actionable. So you can kind of bet if you have your bias formed right and you have your key levels and your high hit rate levels and stuff like that, that's going to be covered in the premium section. If you have that and you play any bias correctly, then you can make it actionable. Then you can start finding trades that you are basing on market structure being held up or being broke. So that being said, this is the end of the video. I hope you liked it, could take something away from it. Make sure to join Discord, and if you have any questions, just comment down below or DM me on Discord as well.